Welcome to Value Chain News at 3. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. Ijaw Diaspora Group vows to sue government oil companies over Nembe oil spill. Nigeria among lowest LPG consuming nations in Africa. Host community graduates protest against Chevron over alleged breach of employment terms. Saudi Arabia oil prices rise. Indefinite power outage in the FCT, 3 surrounding states as AEDC shuts down. Now the news in details. A socio-cultural group based in the United States, Ijaw Diaspora Council, over the weekend vowed to sue the federal government and oil companies over alleged negligence of Nembe oil spill in Nembe local government area of Bayelsa State. This was contained in a statement signed by the President IDA, Professor Monday Gold, where the council gave reasons why it took the decision to file a lawsuit against the federal government and oil companies operating in the area, which include willful failure to comply with relevant local and international laws, failure to carry out in safe manner inspection and maintenance of oil infrastructure in the area, catastrophic destructions of lives and marine environment of Ijaw communities, and others. The IDC suit will allege that the Nigerian government and its joint venture oil companies were grossly negligent and reckless as to the risks and dangerous consequences it placed on the Ijaw people and their marine environment, that their conduct amounts to knowingly and willfully failing to comply with relevant local and international laws, including but not limited to unwillingness to act in compliance with its responsibility under the United Nations Conventions of the Law of the Sea and the African Charter. The Aito blowout has continued since November 1. IDC's technical advisor from the US estimates that the total release volume now exceeds 210,000 to 260,000 barrels of toxic hydrocarbon fluids into the sensitive mangrove ecosystem of Nembe local government. A week after 4 oil workers who were involved in pipeline maintenance owned by the Nigerian Agip Oil Company were killed, suspected gunmen on Monday have abducted an operative of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps and 4 contract staff working at Konoyu Field in Koluama in Bayelsa. This disclosure was made by a spokesman for the NSCDC on Monday to newsmen. He stated that 5 victims were kidnapped while on their way to Koluama in southern Ijaw local government area. The reports stated that 4 contract staff that were kidnapped are employees of a catering contractor to Konoyu, along with deceased supplies from Yanogwa for the personnel at Konoyu location in Koluama. The family source to one of the abducted oil workers told newsmen on Monday that the abductors had contacted the family demanding 25 million naira ransom. Spokesman of the NSCDC in Bayelsa, Solomon Ogbere, said, "I can confirm that we are in receipt of the report of kidnap. One of our officers and 4 civilians were kidnapped while heading to their location where they protect Konoyu facilities. They were all in Mufti while returning to their base when they were attacked. Investigations is ongoing to track down the culprits," he said. The state government has imposed a curfew and banned the use of speedboats with 200 horsepower engines on all waterways in the state. Despite the huge demand for liquefied petroleum gas, popularly called cooking gas, now rising beyond the resources of an average Nigerian, the country has been rating among the lowest in per capita consumption of LPG in Africa. Executive Secretary of the NCDMB, Mr. Simbi Wabote, stated this at the inauguration of Buntain Energy 100 metric tons liquefied petroleum gas storage and bottling plant in Kabukawa, Katsina State last weekend. This was even as he said, despite the low consumption figure for the country, a lot of opportunities exist for increasing LPG penetration and utilization in Nigeria. The motivations of the promoters of the project, which was commissioned by the Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari, is to help address supply constraints in the domestic LPG markets in the northern part of Nigeria through its plant operations, bulk storage, transportation, distribution, and cylinder fillings and bulk retail. Wabote confirmed that Section 70 of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act of 2010 mandates the board to assist local contractors and Nigerian companies to develop their capabilities and capacities to further the attainment of the goal of developing Nigerian content in the Nigerian oil and gas industry. He stated that Nigeria still has one of the lowest per capita LPG consumption in Africa, and a lot of opportunities exist for increasing LPG utilization in Nigeria. In his comments, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Chief Timper Silva hinted that the commissioning of the plant is directly linked to the declaration of the Decade of Gas by President Muhammadu Buhari, which seeks to reinforce Nigeria's aspiration to leverage on its gas resources estimated at 206 trillion cubic feet to develop Nigeria's national industrial, commercial, and agricultural base. Scores of unemployed graduates from Egbema Gbaramatu host communities in the Niger Delta region on Monday besieged the operational headquarters of the Chevron Nigeria Limited in the Warri South local government area of Delta State in a peaceful protest against the alleged failure of the oil company to fulfill the terms of the Global Memorandum of Understanding it signed with them regarding the filling the graduate employment quota for the region. The protesters, who carried placards with different inscriptions, also condemned Chevron's alleged unilateral disengagement of some graduates from the host communities and replacing the sacked workers with people without prerequisite qualification from other parts of the country. Some inscriptions on the placard read, "Chevron must keep to our GMOU terms. Employ 200 deficit employment for graduates of Egbema Gbaramatu host communities." Addressing journalists, the president of Egbema Gbaramatu graduates, Tare Olaye, condemned Chevron for allegedly discarding provisions of the Local Content Act that prescribes the employment of a certain percentage of the workforce from the host communities. Chevron must abide by the laws of the land, Olaye declared, while insisting that the ongoing protests would last until demands are met. South Africans took to their beaches on Sunday to protest against plans by the Royal Dutch Shell to do a seismic oil exploration they say would threaten marine wildlife such as whales, dolphins, seals, and penguins on a pristine coastal stretch. A South African court on Friday struck down an application brought by environmentalists to stop the oil major exploring in the eastern seaboard's wild coast, rejecting as unproven their argument that it would cause irreparable harm to the marine environment, especially migrating humpback whales. The wide coast is home to some of the country's most undisturbed wildlife, and its stunning coastal wilderness are also a major tourist draw. At least 1,000 demonstrators gathered on the beach near Port Edward. Reporters said environmentalists are urging Shell and other oil companies to stop prospecting for oil, arguing that the world has no chance of reaching net zero carbon by 2050 if existing oil deposits are burned, let alone if new ones are found. South Africa's Environment Ministry referred to reporters in a statement last month that the minister responsible for environmental affairs is not mandated to consider the application or to make a decision on the authorization of the seismic survey. Amid heightened worry about the course of the pandemic after the emergence of the Omicron variant, Saudi Arabia injected a dose of confidence in markets by raising its official selling price for its flagship Arab Light to a nearly 2-year high. Arab Light will sell for $0.60 more per barrel next month than it does now for buyers in Asia. That's $3.30 per barrel more than the Oman Dubai benchmark. The report added that this is the highest price for Arab Light since early 2020s, months before the pandemic struck. The prices for Saudi crude sold to the United States is also going up between $0.40 per barrel and $0.60 per barrel, depending on the grade. Prices for the European market, which is a small one for Saudi oil, will be cut. Reports said traders are saying that the price hike were not unexpected, although one of the commentators said Arab Heavy was becoming more expensive. Since then, however, updates about the new variant appear to be cautiously optimistic, as no deaths from it have been reported despite a quick spread, and hospitalization rates are not also jumping as with previous variants. Russia and India signed new energy cooperation agreements, including contracts for Rosneft to ship almost 15 million barrels of crude to the world's third largest consumer of oil in 2020. Rosneft CEO Igor Sekin said, according to a company statement, that Russia's largest crude producer said it has agreed to contract a ship-up at the end of 2020. Deliveries will be shipped via the Russian Black Sea ports. Rosneft owns a 49.13% stake in the Indian company Nayara Energy, which also owns the Vadnir oil refinery. The Kremlin also said both countries acknowledge the important role of dialogue between consumers and producers. Continuing joint work on developing payments in national currencies to reduce costs, time and risks associated with payments was also discussed. Interest in non-dollar payments, including for energy resources, has increased in Russia in recent years due to the risks that Western sanctions may restrict Russian companies' access to dollars in the future. Leaders in the Southeast region have lamented multiple and indiscriminate charges and deductions on customers' accounts by commercial banks operating in the zone and urged the CBN to intervene and curb the bank's excesses. The Southeast Amalgamated Market Traders Association stated this in an open letter to the governor of the CBN. They lamented that their members have been subjected to what they described as financial oppression through indiscriminate deductions by commercial banks. The group argued that most of the transactions on which customers' accounts were charged should be the social responsibility of the banks, adding that the banks made deductions and charges for all transactions ranging from deposit to confirmation of signatures. Part of the major responsibilities of commercial banks is to accept deposits from customers, keep the funds in safe custody, and perform other transactions for and as directed by the customer through various bank instruments. They also complained that charges and deductions were made for SMSs, which they do not receive most of the time, while charges and deductions are made on the same account as service charges. The association expressed confidence in CBN's ability, commitment, and willpower to the successful resolution of the matter through its intervention. The National Union of Electricity Employees has shut down all operations of the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company (AEDC) indefinitely, owing to the outstanding payment of about 41 billion escrowed in the Central Bank of Nigeria. The union's FCT chairman, Comrade Godfrey Abba, at the shutdown of the AEDC headquarters in Abuja, told newsmen that industrial actions will be withdrawn only when our demands are met. The action, according to him, has culminated in an outage in all AEDC franchise areas that include but are not limited to the FCT, Kogi, Niger, and Nasarawa. According to him, it was expected that before the strike, the Federal Ministry of Power would have intervened in the industrial crisis. He said, since they have not done that, we are still waiting for them to liaise with the Central Bank of Nigeria to ensure this money is released so that not only ourselves will receive their entitlements, our customers will begin to enjoy better services. Asked how much is the debt owed, he said it is about 40 billion naira. The CBN are supposed to release 2.5 billion naira on a monthly basis, and it is now getting to 2 years. He noted that it is only AEDC that the CBN is sitting on its monthly payment. Abba revealed that the Apex Bank has set its team to confirm that the outstanding claims of the expenditure of AEDC were real. To end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. Ijaw Diaspora Groups vows to sue government oil companies over Nembe oil spill. Nigeria among lowest LPG consuming nations in Africa. Hosts community graduates protest against Chevron over alleged breach of employment terms. Saudi Arabia, oil prices rise. Indefinite power outage in FCT, 3 surrounding states as AEDC shuts down. And that's Value Chain News at 3. My name is Naomi Oleribe. Have a good day.